Hi everyone, this is Darren with Sim Nation. The first round of the SNCFL College Football Playoffs is officially in the books, and it was an absolute chaotic week. We saw some high-scoring games, historic individual performances, and a few teams limping into the quarterfinals with some major injury concerns. Today I'm going to recap the first round action, breaking down the massive quarterfinal matchups coming your way. So without further ado, let's just dive straight in. In our first game, it was V Gorillas West Virginia versus the Maryland Terrapins. It was a tight battle where Maryland's ground game was the main difference in this one. Juan Leyva, who is Maryland's third string running back, was the star, racking up 134 yards and one touchdown, while Hill threw 17 of 23 for 341 yards and two touchdowns. But hats off to V Gorilla and his Mountaineers, as they definitely kept it close and gave Maryland a run for the money. In our next matchup, it was Stewart's Duke Blue Devils versus Invisible Witnesses Auburn Tigers. Ishmael Counts was surgical, tossing four touchdowns. Auburn's defense also stepped up with Rudolph Ezel snagging a sack and an interception as the Auburn Tigers downed the Duke Blue Devils 45 to 27. Our next matchups are Tony's SMU versus Matt's Clemson squad. In the highest scoring game of the round, Clemson outlasted an effort from SMU's Hank Roundtree, who had a massive day. Clemson's depth, though, in the end proved to be too much for SMU, despite the four interceptions that were thrown by Marble, the Clemson quarterback. Luke, though, had a big game as well with 23 rushes for 155 yards and two touchdowns. Another one of Tony's team was taking on Stewart's other team, UCLA versus Eastern Michigan. This one was total dominance from the Bruins. They put up nearly 600 yards of offense, led by Kenneth Cortez in his 137 yards rushing and two touchdowns. Shark had a little bit of a battle with East Carolina. It was definitely one of those really high scoring offensive games that you see from time to time. But in the end, it was Shark pulling away 42 to 35. Georgia's Kyle Matos carried the load with 125 yards and two touchdowns to fend off a late ESU surge where they tried to come back and take the game. Stewart's Michigan squad fended off a push from Illinois. History was made here. Michigan quarterback Alan Dunning went nuclear, throwing for 546 yards and six touchdowns. It definitely weights up there with one of the greatest playoff performances we've seen, especially in recent years. In the matchup of Bama versus My Texas Tech, Jeffrey Blankenship had the performance of the tournament so far on the ground, exploding for a massive 246 yards and two touchdowns, while Trejo struggled in this one, going 9 of 16 for 195 yards and two touchdowns. Great season, Bama. And in our last matchup of the first round, Skelter's Louisiana Monroe uh, had to fend off TCU. ULM's high-powered offense overcame a 352-yard passing day from TCU's Adolph Shepard. Michael Hung found the end zone twice to secure the win for the Warhawks. Now the stage is set for the quarterfinals. Here are the matchups. Maryland versus Louisiana Monroe. Skelter versus me. This is going to be a battle of styles. ULM loves to run the ball. Maryland wants to throw the ball. This will all come down to whether or not Shaka Chung is actually healthy for this one. If he is, Maryland will throw. If he's not, they will likely try to run the ball. The good news for Maryland is they do get Jason Macon back, who's the backup running back. But this one's going to be very, very tight. In the end, can the Warhawks secondary hold up against a very, very aggressive Maryland offense? Texas Tech versus Auburn. This is Invisible Witnesses versus my second team. This is a massive clash in the bracket. Auburn is perhaps one of the most balanced teams that you'll see, but they'll have to find a way to slow down Blankenship in his dominant run game. He seems to have hit a second gear on the playoffs, and if they can't control him, it could be a long day for Auburn. Michigan versus Clemson. This is probably the game of the week for me. Well, the next two games are really the game of the week. We're actually really blessed with 4 solid games this week. Um, Michigan, of course, is Stewart. Clemson is, of course, Matt. This is definitely the main event. Clemson's defense is legendary, but can they stop a Michigan passing attack that just put up over 500 yards? Dunning is like Blankenship, who seems to kicked it into the second gear once the playoffs started. But if there's a team that can stop that, it is Clemson and Matt. And our last game of the week is Sharks Georgia versus Stewart's UCLA. Two offenses that are hitting on all cylinders right now. Georgia had over 600 yards in the opener, and UCLA wasn't far behind. I expect this one is going to break the scoreboard as these two teams light up the scoreboard in what will turn out to be an offensive showdown. Some players to watch in the playoffs. If you're looking for the playmakers who will decide these games, keep an eye on these stars. Alan Dunning, the quarterback from Michigan. After a 6-touchdown game, he's the clear favorite for the playoffs right now. Jeffrey Blankenship, the running back from Texas Tech. The Red Raiders will lean on Blankenship to try to control the clock against a visible witness in his better Auburn squad. Kenneth Cortez, the running back from UCLA. He's the engine that makes the Bruins go. Juan Leve, the running back from Maryland. If Maryland's going to be able to beat ULM without Shaka Chung, Leve has to have another 100-plus yard day, or Macon will have to step up in his backup role. All right, time to put everything on the line. Here are my quarterfinal picks. I'm picking ULM over Maryland. I think ULM's speed is too much for the Maryland defense. Score is 38-34. Skelter moves on. I'm going to pick Auburn over Texas Tech. Tech has a lot of injuries going into this one. Trejo is just coming back from an injury, and we saw that he didn't have the best of game last week. And missing some of the key defensive pieces against a team of Auburn's quality will probably be the difference in this one. Predicted probably be 31-28 Auburn. Michigan over Clemson. I don't think anyone can stop Alan Dunning right now. Michigan keeps their dream alive, score 48-44. And then I'm going to pick UCLA over Georgia. I'm taking the Bruins in a minor upset. The offense looks slightly more polished right now, score 45-42. The reality is anyone can win any of these games, so they'll all be exciting to watch this week. But that's it for our playoff breakdown. Who do you have winning in the quarterfinals? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more SNCFL coverage. I'll see you after the game tomorrow night. Thank you, as always, for your support.